Okay, our lesson today is going to be section 9.5, and we're going to add the idea of multiplication with addition or subtraction. So if you look up here at my board, it says, what can we do when the two equations in a system don't have the same or opposite coefficient in one of their terms? Let's look at example 1. When we saw that last night on our homework, when we saw plus y and minus y, what did we know would happen? Well, because these were both here, what are they going to do? They're going to cancel out. So we would know that we're going to add them and we would finish the job. Okay? If I got to the middle section, and we were doing last night's homework, and if they both said plus y and plus y, well, we knew in order to get those to cancel out, what would we do? We would subtract. So we would subtract those and we would finish the job. Now, when I get to this third one here, did you notice? We don't have the same or opposite coefficients in either one of the terms. Now, if we were back in 9.2, as soon as I saw that y all by its lonesome, what would we do? Substitution, right? Okay, but there is a way that we can take a problem like this and still use addition and subtraction. So let's go ahead and take this first problem and go ahead and copy that down in your notes. Okay, so again, the directions say that we're going to use multiplication with addition and subtraction method. So go ahead and write that down. And remember, the whole idea when we're using addition and subtraction is we need to eliminate a variable. So you've got to look up here and decide, do I want to get rid of x's or do I want to get rid of y's? So I'm going to go with x's just because one is a multiple of the other. See what I mean by that? 3 goes into 6. Okay? So if I'm looking here and I have 6x, what does this x need to be for it to cancel out? Not 6. It needs to be negative 6. Okay? Remember, they need to be additive inverses of each other. So what can I multiply this bottom equation by to make that be negative 6? Negative 2. So if we can go over here now and we can multiply, okay, I'm going to write the first equation down because we're going to leave that one alone. And we're going to take the bottom equation and we're going to multiply everything by negative 2. If I do that then, negative 2 times 3x is negative 6x. Negative 2 times positive 2y is negative 4y equals negative 18. Now, because we can take that bottom equation and multiply by negative 2, do you see what happens now? We've got additive inverses. They're going to cancel out. So we're going to add, and now we just add what's left. What's y and negative 4y? Negative 3y equals, what's 6 and negative 18? Negative 12. If I divide both sides by negative 3 to get y alone, what's y going to equal? 4. Y is going to equal 4. So we found y. Are we done? No. Just like last night, we have to have an ordered pair. We have to have an x and a y. So I need to plug that back in. Does it matter whether we plug it into the top equation or the bottom equation? No. Either one works. Again, I usually pick the one that's got the smaller exponents, smaller coefficients, to give me easier math. So I would say 6x plus y equals 6. 6x, we just saw y is 4, so I'm going to plug that in, equals 6. And now we're just going to solve the equation. We're going to subtract 4 from both sides. What's 6 and negative 4? 2. If I divide both sides by 6, what's x going to equal? 1/3. Thank you for reducing my fraction. So what's my ordered pair going to be? Okay, and again, we put them in alphabetical order, ABC order. Okay, 1/3, 4. So the only thing that's changed is we may have to multiply an equation to eliminate a variable. But the battle plan is still the same. Now let's go ahead and look at the next problem. Go ahead and write this one down. And they still want us to solve each system by using multiplication with addition or subtraction. Now again, when I look up there, we got to eliminate S's, or are we going to eliminate the T's? Now you can do either one. But usually what I try to do is, if I've already got a letter that's got the plus and the minus thing going on already, see how it's minus 5t and plus 2t? I would get rid of the t's because I've already got the plus minus thing going on. So this time though, in order to eliminate the variable, we're going to have to multiply both equations. If I'm getting rid of t's here, what do I have to multiply the first equation by to do that? 2. I've got to take it to have a 2t here, so I'm going to multiply the top one by 2. What am I going to have to multiply the bottom equation by to eliminate t's? I'm going to have to use what? 5. I'm going to have to use 5. All right, so let's go ahead and multiply and see what happens. 2 times 4s is 8s. 2 times negative 5t is negative 10t. And 2 times 3 is 6. Now let's go ahead and multiply that bottom equation by 5. So 5 times 3s is 15s plus 10t. What's negative 15 times 5? Negative 75. Now, guess what happened? Presto change-up. Do the t's cancel out now? They do. They are additive inverses of each other. So they're going to cancel out, and we add what's left. What's 8s and 15s? 23s equals. What's 6 and negative 75? Negative 69. Now, sometimes you get some really big numbers, but it usually works out nicely if you just follow through. Because what happens if I divide both sides by 23? What's s going to equal? S equals, did you say negative 3?
Yes.
Okay, don't mess up on the little things. We found S. How do we find T? Plug it in. Again, it doesn't matter which one. I'm usually going to take the one with the smaller numbers. I'm going to take the top one. So 4S, 4 times negative 3 is negative 12. Minus 5T equals 3. Who's my floater? Who's going to move to the other side for me to get T alone? So the opposite of negative T is positive T. What I do on one side, I do to the other. So now I've got 5t equals 15. What's t got to equal? Okay, so t equals negative 3. Now this time it doesn't matter because there's the same number. But what would my ordered pair be? Negative 3, negative 3. Remember S and then t. They go in alphabetical order. Okay? Fractions. Okay, go ahead and write it down. What should your mind be thinking right now as you're writing this down? Elimination. Okay, we've got to get rid of the fractions before we can even go there to start it. So go ahead and write them down, and then we'll figure out what we're going to multiply by in just a second. So if I look at this first equation here, and if I'm going to eliminate the fractions, if we had 6, 4, and 2, what would we choose to be our common denominator? 12. So we're going to multiply everything by 12. Okay, so something's going to cancel along the way. So A over 6 times 12, what are we going to get? 2A plus, now we're going to do 12 times B over 4, which gives me 3b equals, what's going to happen here? 18. Everybody understand where all my numbers came from? What are we going to have to multiply the bottom one by to eliminate those fractions? We're going to multiply by 6. So if I multiply the first term by 6, what are we going to get? 4a equals, and the second term is going to be 3b. Now if you're looking there, we've got a little bit of a problem. What's the problem? 3b's on the other side. Remember yesterday we said most of these are going to be in standard form, right? So I need to take this bottom equation and rearrange the furniture, okay, to get it in standard form. I need to move that 3b back over here, so what am I going to do? What's my inverse operation? Minus 3b, so I'm going to help myself out here a little bit. This is going to be 4a minus 3b equals, now that was an important move. You see why that was an important move? Because now, who automatically cancels? The b's are going to automatically cancel. Okay, so we're going to cancel those out and we add what's left. 2a plus 4a is 6a. 18 plus 0 is, if we divide both sides by 6, what's a going to equal? A equals 3. We have to find b. We can plug it into either equation. Let's go ahead and do 2a plus 3b equals 18. If a is 3, this is going to be 6 plus 3b equals 18. 3b equals 12. What does b have to equal? 4. So what would my order pair be, Kevin? 3, 4. Remember, the a is first. They go in alphabetical order. So, a lot similar to what we did last night. The only thing now is you may have to multiply one or both equations to eliminate a variable. So you can get inverses so they will cancel each other out. Okay, we're going to look at one story problem and then we're done. Here we go. Solve using two equations in two variables. Use the multiplication with addition or subtraction method. Now again, as soon as we see that story problem, we know we've got to use our 5-step plan. So read the problem to yourself and let's see if we can figure out, what am I solving for? What are we trying to find? Okay, it says 3 pens and 2 notebooks cost $8.25. 2 pens and 3 notebooks cost $8.50. How much would 2 pens and 2 notebooks cost? So what are we trying to find? Yeah, we're trying to find the cost. Okay, the cost of pens and notebooks. That's what we need. Okay, step number 2 in the 5-step plan, we need our let statements. Now, we don't have to use X and Y. Sometimes it's easier to use the letters that are there. What would you do, Jack? Let? Now, I would let P equal pens, and I would let N equal notebooks. Okay, so now we kind of cruise through step 1 and step 2. Step 3, we've got to come up with our equations. Now, just like yesterday, okay, the first sentence gives me the first equation. What do you think, Roman? $8.25. That's exactly what the first sentence says in words. We just converted it to a math sentence. What's going to happen in the second sentence there to get my second equation? Go ahead, Catherine. What's it going to be? And I'm going to go ahead and make this $8 since we're talking money. Okay, it might be a little bit easier. Now, who do we want to eliminate? Do we want to eliminate P's or do we want to eliminate N's? Let's just work with the P's since they're out in front. If I want to eliminate P's, what am I going to have to multiply this by? 2. And if I need to eliminate here, what am I going to multiply? Now remember, one needs to be plus and one needs to be minus. So I usually make the smaller number negative to multiply by. Okay, so let's do some multiplying and see what happens. So top equation, go ahead. We've got negative 6p minus 4n equals negative 1650, I think. And then if we multiply the bottom equation, we're going to have what? 6p plus 9n. 8 times 3 is $24. Don't forget to multiply that number on the other side of the equal sign. Who automatically cancels now? P's. Okay? 6 P's cancel. So we're going to add what's left. What's negative 4n and 9n? 5n. Okay, what's going to happen when we do $24 minus $16.50? What's going to happen? Okay, we get $7.50. What happens if we divide both sides by 5? Notebooks cost